Hey.
Hey.
Lacuna Coil with Broken Crown Halo. It's their new album. This is their 6th or 7th album or something. Follow up 2012's Dark Adrenaline. And we're not here to talk about it.
Nope.
We just wanted to tell you that. That's it.
Bye.
See you later. Nope.
Oh yeah? April Fool's. 2 days late, but it's okay.
Hey, this did come out on April Fool's though. So,
It's funny.
what's your thoughts?
My thoughts on this album is, I guess I'll get with all the individual parts first, which is the vocals. Vocals weren't bad. You know, Christina Scabia sounds awesome as always. The one song is Tyler pointed it out to me where they actually auto-tuned her. I don't know which song it is.
It's one of the ones towards the end of the album.
I kind of I was just like, well, why? Because I mean, she's already an amazing singer. Why spoil it with over auto-tune? Like, it wasn't like auto-tune like everybody does to correct pitch, maybe a slight pitch. So, you're not spending hours and hours and hours trying to get the perfect, all the perfect notes. You can just kind of tweak them a little bit if they're just slightly off. This was like, auto-tune, and I didn't like that. The other vocalist, I don't know his name. He was okay.
Andrea, I think his name is.
Andrea. He reminds me, and maybe I just never noticed it before with their other stuff. He reminds me. I'm trying to think of who. He sounds like some other male singer that I've heard before. I'm trying to think of it. Or maybe a little bit, maybe of I think I'm thinking of maybe In Flames, maybe a little bit of that, a little bit. I hear it, and I just thought that was kind of cool. And their voices do mesh really well, which is why I guess they decided to get Christina Scabia, because they thought their voices meshed very well, and but the vocally of this album is really good, and I guess the way the guitars sound was pretty cool. The guitar tone was okay. It's just, for the most part, I was not impressed with really any of the riffage on this album. For the most part, when we were listening to it, this album was just kind of, I don't know, it was kind of in the later parts of my attention span, back a little bit, and it was every once in a while I'd notice, the vocals, and I'd be like, oh, those are cool vocals, but then if it was just the guitars going, I'd be focused on whatever else we happened to be doing at the time. It's just it just wasn't interesting, and it kind of sounded the same throughout the whole album. I have a little bit of experience with, some of their earlier stuff, and I think that, I know they can write better than that. It just sounds almost like, it sounds kind of like everything else in the metal scene that might have creeped its way onto the radio recently. It kind of sounds like that. The bass, nothing stood out about it to me. It didn't really stick out at all. The drums are kind of in the same way of the guitars. There really wasn't anything original that kind of caught me. It was just that's kind of my opinion of this album, is that besides vocally at some spots, it's just a very meh album. I mean, like I said, I've listened, when you go from listening to songs like Our Truth, or what was the big song from their last album that everybody played? Trip to Darkness. Those are cool songs. Those are actually, decently written, and there was nothing like that for me on this album. Nothing really stuck out. And it was like, yes, this is Lacuna Coil. This is the good songs that, you come to expect from this band. And it just wasn't there for me. I don't know. I had a hard time getting into it.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Older Lacuna Coil to me is where it's at when it comes to Lacuna Coil, because albums like Coma Lies, I believe that's how they say it, and Karma Code are pretty damn solid. And anymore, since they've grown in popularity, they've decreased in I guess showcasing their talent and what they can do. They've kind of become a very one-dimensional band that's just built around vocals, and that's it. And it's mostly, I feel, built around Christina Scabia's vocals, she is a good vocalist. And when the other dude sings, Andrea, or whatever his name is, they sound fantastic, I feel. And even on this album, they sound good. But I feel they both are much more capable than what they've done on this album. I know they can do a lot more than that, and it's not really there. And I kind of agree with Keith. There wasn't that one song that stuck out as like, that's an awesome song. And you listen to Dark Adrenaline, even their last album, there was a few that stuck out. Was like, that's a really good song. Other than that, I kind of got lost with it, and I kind of got a little bit bored with that, as I did with this one. It's just, I feel the first song, Nothing Stands in Our Way, is probably the best song on here, and it's really not that great of a song. It just kind of sounds like something that would be on the radio. Like, that's what they're trying to grab, is that mainstream audience. And it's pretty evident with the tours that they get on, with Sick Puppies, and, I know they did a lot of touring with Seven Dust, and I love Seven Dust, but they are a very radio rock band. And, I just feel it always just kind of sucks when a band's early career is really good and then they start getting a lot of airplay and they just kind of get really stale. And that's how I feel. This album gets very stale after a while because I tell you what, the guitar work on here is not good at all. The most memorable guitar riff that they have on here is from the first song, and that's it. And we were listening to it, and we're like, I swear we've heard this so many times before. And that's the only thing that'll stick in your head about any of this guitar. Other than that, it's very typical chord patterns, and I don't even know. I don't know. The guitar just fades so far in the background compared to the vocals. That's when you listen to Lacuna Coil, I feel that's all that's really there is vocals. That there's not a lot of substance to it at all. That's how I feel with this album. I'd say about after the song Die and Rise, I just really just lose interest in it. And it just kind of gets very repetitive. And all the choruses start to sound the same. Every feel of the song feels the same. The atmosphere feels the same throughout the whole thing. It just, nothing changes at all. Christina Scabia and Andrea, or whatever his name is, I forget. They do sound good, and it just sucks because I know this entire band is much more capable than what they produced with this record, and it's just kind of meh. I don't know. Shallow Life from 2009 really sucked in my eyes, and then they came out with Dark Adrenaline. I'm like, alright, that's cool. And then there's this. And I've listened to this so many times. I just can't get into it. It's just, there's a couple songs where I'm just like, alright, that's cool. But the only thing that really sticks out is the chorus. It's kind of like listening to Danger Kids, except better. A lot better.
Much better.
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
Just, like Tyler said, it's a reiteration of, it's sort of sucks, because, like I said, we know these guys are capable of writing brilliant music, and it's just that, again, it's all centered around the vocals there with the whole radio rock thing. It's just, it's just a letdown. You can be popular on the radio and still keep what made you good. Honestly, that's what made them popular in the first place, was that they were still the old band, so, I don't know.
Yeah. This is all personal opinion. So if you're the biggest Lacuna Coil in the world, and you've banged Christina Scabia in your head a million times, go for it. You probably enjoy this. As just,
Casual
I don't know.
Listeners.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a casual listener. I am a fan of this band, but this isn't something that I see myself listening to at all. it's a boring radio rock album. They're trying to appeal to a knowledgeable crowd. Rating?
I'd give it a. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, me too. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Turkey. You go on, turkey. Blaze it.